Do you ever pause and wonder, how did my life end up here? Despite all the effort, all the planning, all the striving to create a life that feels fulfilling, I find myself stuck. I've worked hard, studied diligently, and spent countless hours brainstorming ways to improve new skills, new opportunities, new revenue streams. Yet here I am years later, treading water in the same spot, feeling no closer to the life I once dreamt of. When I decided to learn English, it felt like a breakthrough, finally a way to expand my horizons, to connect with the world beyond Korea. And it did open doors, but it also left me feeling disconnected. I may look Korean and I am Korean, but my way of thinking no longer aligns with most Koreans. My worldview shifted, and that's created a quiet but persistent tension. Interactions feel off, like there's this invisible wall between me and the people around me. But it's not like I feel fully at home in the English-speaking world either. I'm caught in between. Not fully belonging here, not fully belonging there. That sense of belonging, of being understood, feels elusive. It's a lonely space to inhabit. Still, when I take a step back and reflect, I realize how far I've come. My perspective has broadened. My world is no longer as small or narrow as it once was. And while there's no going back to that earlier version of myself, the road ahead feels daunting. Working as a scrub nurse in the operating room has also opened my eyes to some harsh realities. In Korea's male-dominated medical field, there's an unspoken rule for women nurses of a certain age, especially those older than the doctors they work with. Act infantile to keep the peace or risk unsettling those around you. It's as if our knowledge, skills, and years of experience are secondary to the fleeting value placed on youth. This dynamic is rooted in a broader cultural issue. Korean society still operates within a deeply ingrained patriarchal framework. It's a system where stepping up as a woman, asserting your value based on skill and expertise, feels like swimming against the tide. The weight of these expectations often leaves women feeling undervalued, no matter how much they've achieved or contributed. It's only after we work up the nerve to embrace a life shift that we discover what we truly long for. Just like how you might need to part ways with your current boyfriend to find a better version of love. Change can feel like a painful loss, but everything we experience, whether good or bad, eventually points our lives in a better direction. Sometimes we regret making a move, but in hindsight, even those hard moments contribute to our growth. They teach us what works better for us, what suits us best. The truth is, most of us resist change because we fear the risks involved. We're afraid of losing what we have now, clinging to the familiarity of the present. We fear the potential losses so much that we'd rather stay where we are, even if it means giving up the chance for something better. But every change comes with a transitional period, and only by overcoming that can we find true freedom. A better life always lies on the other side of change. If we settle for the present, we'll never experience the freedom and possibilities that come with change. Part of me thinks I'd be better off living abroad. Maybe that's where I define the freedom and alignment I'm searching for. But every year that passes makes the thought of uprooting my life more intimidating. When you hit your 30s, stability starts to feel essential. Change feels risky. The fear of making a wrong decision can be paralyzing. And yet, staying in this limbo, this in-between space, is its own kind of risk. Recently, I came across a saying, you have to learn to let things go in order to let other things come your way. It's been on my mind ever since. Maybe the answer lies in letting go of the fear, letting go of the need to have everything figured out, letting go of the idea that there's only one right path. I don't have all the answers, but maybe that's okay. Life isn't about having everything perfectly mapped out. It's about learning, growing, and finding the courage to take the next step, even when it's scary. Maybe that's where life truly begins, on the other side of fear, in the midst of uncertainty.
So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet. Deep blue sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Harder keeps the heat when it gets colder. You know, sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing apart. They just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the low, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter.